What's good, folks? This is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. I used to be an AFOL until...
We got a bird notice on you. You're blacklisted.
But seriously, December the 13th is what I'm calling Do Your Thing Day, marking my independence from the mainstream LEGO hobby. It was 5 years ago to the day when I released a rather personal video seeking answers as to why some prominent people in the community thought I deserved disrespect. And it might not surprise you to hear that in those 5 years, I haven't had an answer. Shout out to Camel Boy and my mentor Pete Reed for at least having a conversation. But for the most part, these so-called diverse and inclusive people chose to laugh, pretend they didn't know anything, and act as if I didn't exist. For those who realize I do exist, you might have noticed that I've been angry, not just with those involved who aren't even worth calling names, but with LEGO's apparent shift toward a leftist agenda. The anger had affected everything I did to the point where I wasn't being creative. And by far my biggest regret is exposing people who weren't involved and didn't deserve it to that anger. Although this year has been incredibly rough, to the point where I lost almost everything I'd worked toward, it was the 3D printing space that provided a turning point. I made the statement about my time in Amsterdam that I generally don't get what I want, but what I need. Although I'd used the last of my savings to get there, I didn't make a penny. Instead, I had made valuable connections, including with Arseni's Lab and Reliance. Although going to Printed was an opportunity to be around successful and upcoming content creators, I was far from popular. Instead, I had a much better idea about who was real and worth hanging around. Although it was an opportunity to learn from said content creators, it was obvious I would never be one. Instead, I realized I was free from chasing algorithms and trends and could refocus on actual creation. Above all else was the realization that being angry wasn't helping. It more than likely contributed to having lost almost everything. So in the spirit of being the actual adult in the room, I've decided to let go and forgive. There's no excuse or justification for how I've been treated, especially by people who claim to be diverse and inclusive. But it also means there's no answer that I would accept, so there's no need to keep looking for one. I'm not referring to everybody who calls themselves AFOLs because there are still good people, even in the mainstream. The ones I'm referring to know who they are. Then again, maybe they don't know who or what they are. But while I've forgiven said people, there's no reason whatsoever to associate with them. Long story short, doing so would go against my 6 rules for living, which was the point of differentiating myself as a maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast. If those AFOLs I'm referring to have any integrity at all, they would, as the kids say, keep that same energy, whether I do well from this point forward or not. And to those who haven't shown me disrespect, I apologize. This is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO enthusiast, encouraging you all to do your thing.